So I almost didn't take a summer vacation. But then I booked a trip to the Caribbean for under $300 in 3 days. Here's how I did it. You ever have those summers where you feel like you have all the plans, May, June, July, there's always something going on, a festival, an event, friends visiting, and you're like, great, my summer is gonna be fantastic. But then you get this gnawing feeling like, I'm tired, and I have yet to experience a lazy day of summer. So in August, my body was screaming, we need a vacation. Anybody who would listen or speak to me, I would tell them, I think I need to get away. And normally when I have that feeling, I'm going to book a trip. Because I knew I wanted rest, I knew I wanted to be in the Caribbean, beaches, ocean, and just to relax. Yes, I go to the beach all the time in Miami, but the Caribbean water always hits differently. So I started looking for the easiest way to get there. Just to rest, sleep, food easily accessible, and cheapest, because hey, I'm on a budget here and I'm booking very last minute. So since South Florida is almost like the cruise capital, I looked at cruises and I looked through Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and found very reasonable cruises. But I checked the reviews. And this is point number one. Always check reviews of wherever you're going. They're telltale signs. And the cruise ships were older and the food wasn't that great. And the price was really good though. And so I suffer from analysis by paralysis. And so I hemmed and hawed, called them, couldn't decide if I wanted to book. And guess what? The price went up and one of the boats sold out. So that took care of that. So I was left with this feeling of, I knew I was going on a trip, but now I have nowhere to go. So one Monday night, I was at work feeling like I am flying out this Friday. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know why, but I'm gonna figure it out. Actually, it was a Tuesday night. So I did my favorite thing and I was like, how did I forget this? And my magic trick, here's clue number one, is Google Explore. Now I love looking for flights on Google Flights. I will tell you that is my main jam. So I always go on there just to see what other airlines are charging and for me to kind of gauge where the price points are. I also love to use Tracker. But on this particular session, when I want to go someplace, but I'm not sure where, I use something called Google Explore. And here's how I do it. I initially go onto Google, as you can see on the screen here, and just type in where I'm leaving from, the dates I want to go, and I hit go, or actually explore. Within that time frame, Google will give me a map of all the places or destinations I can go to. Initially, it always starts with showing me the United States, and it shows me the price point. And I always use it to kind of gauge where is it that I want to go. However, I told you I was destined to go to the Caribbean. And so I normally just move the mouse down or up and I look at the Caribbean map and voila, it shows me all the price points for various destinations. Now, because the map is zoomed out, I normally zoom in a bit to see if the smaller islands have better prices or location. So for that day, I had noticed initially St. Croix was like $436, and I was like, this is great. Then when my boyfriend challenged me to like, you think we could find something cheaper? I went back on Google Explore, and as you can see, one of the things that came up was Cayman Islands. Wow. And the price point was $300 and something, which was fantastic, just what we were thinking. But I always ask myself, can it be cheaper? So once I click out of that, I normally see which airline is flying, and American Airlines came up. Now, I'm an American Gold member, I'm an American girl, just because it's easy access to the various places that I want to go to. Also because I have status, and status allows me to pick seats because I get claustrophobic. I like to be in the front of the plane, and I don't want to pay for bags. And when you take a cheaper airline sometimes that you're not a member of, the fees add up. So American had the flight, they had 2 flights, which gave me some time and space to pick when I wanted to leave. But I wanted to know, could I get it cheaper? And so what I normally do is then go to the airline and price out the trip. But with American, because I have status, I always check to see the miles. So I went in and looked at the miles ratio, and as you can see here, the first flight was actually really cheap, like $100, but it was worth 12,000 miles. However, the return flight was like $236 and the mileage was only 13,000. wait, what? Let's do the math again. Really? I can get this trip for under 200 with miles? 13,000 miles is nothing. Winning. So immediately I booked that. And I was like, all right, my budget was really kind of like under 5, but 200 and something for the flight is great. Now, what am I gonna do about hotel? I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little bougie and I love really nice hotels. I'm also a Chase Sapphire Reserve member, which gives me the perks of finding really exclusive hotels or really nice ones with benefits. So I logged onto my Chase account and I was like, let me find a hotel. And actually, let me backtrack. Normally, after I find the flight, I then definitely go to Chase to see if I can combine it in some way. Or sometimes I'll use Chase points for flights, but I digress. That's just how I use my points. So I went into Chase and put in Cayman Islands for the dates, and this hotel came out that was part of the Edit. So Chase has this new program called the Edit where they have really nice hotels where you get benefits such as daily breakfast for 2, hotel credit, free upgrades, and it was discounted. Instead of the hotel being literally $500 a night, it came out to 22,000 points. That was it. No taxes or fees. So essentially, clearly I booked that night, and lucky that my boyfriend is also a Chase member and he booked the second night for the same amount of points, which was around 22,000. So with that, really only paid $237 to fly, even for one night, to Cayman with an amazing hotel and come back refreshed. So this is really my travel hack, right? Travel doesn't have to be expensive. You didn't have to go to the Caribbean like I did. You could go wherever you feel like relaxation can happen. But sometimes we forget that these things are possible, right? And we wait for the moments where we're supposed to deserve rest. But I'm telling you in this video, you don't need permission to rest. You don't need permission to take a vacation. It is our given right to want to rest and take a vacation. And so while you might be thinking, oh, I don't have the money to do this because I have other things that are piling up, I'm encouraging you to say yes to yourself. Book that trip. Use the tips that I said here, such as Google Explore, figure out what airline you can build mileage with. Maybe get a credit card that gives you miles and points. So essentially by using it to pay for daily food, gas, daily bills, guess what? You're building points to get a free trip. Like, that's a perk, right? So don't wait for the perfect timing or the feeling that you deserve rest. If you need to rest, book that trip. If you want more of the details on exactly how I did this or anything else about my travels, check out my full blog on www.thenursesabbatical.com. Take care, guys, and take breaks.